Hi there. My name is Joel Friedrich, and I am a professor in the English for Academic Purposes department at Akita International University. Uh, English for Academic Purposes is also known as the EAP, and it will be your first home at AIU if you are a student here. During the first year, you will take EAP classes to improve your English and improve your liberal arts and critical thinking. Most of those classes will be finished for you in the first semester, and then you'll continue and take some writing classes, Composition 1 and Composition 2. I teach those classes, Comp 1 and Comp 2. They are academic writing classes. I also teach creative writing, where students write poems and stories, and they activate their imagination. They engage as much imaginative thinking to be creative with words as they can. I also teach literature classes where we read and discuss poems and stories and plays and all types of literature in English. So today I am going to show you a lesson, a typical lesson for a creative writing class or a literature class that I would have at AIU. I do want to tell you right away that all of my classes are interactive, and that means I'm not going to just give a lecture. I'm not going to just talk, and I'm going to ask you to do more than just listen or take notes. And I think that's the way it is with most classes at AIU. Most classes are interactive, not passive, but interactive, where the students are asked to um, talk with partners or with small groups or with the whole class to discuss complicated questions, to analyze things, maybe to do some writing during class and to share it with others in the class, or to make a presentation and then to talk about it with the class. So most classes, again, at AIU are not simply sitting down and listening passively. They are listening and acting, talking, speaking, writing, sharing. Okay? Um, because this is an interactive class, you can see on your screen a QR code where you can access this document. And I do think you should do that so that you can have this document to look at after the class. Maybe you even want to copy some parts of it because we are going to do some writing. You can create your own document by copying this document and into a new Google document, and then you can type directly into this document. If you copy what's on the screen in front of you into a separate document that you make, but you need to do that by going to this QR code. And there's the actual web address for it. But since this is a video, you obviously can't click that. You would need to use this QR code to access this document. Okay? And I will share this QR code several times later in this presentation so you have more chances to find it. You will need something to write with during this lesson. You'll need paper and pen, or you'll need a device like a laptop that you can write on, because I'll be asking you to pause this video and write while you're doing this lesson. Okay, let's get started. The lesson that I'm giving today is called It's Complicated, creating a sequence of similes, creating several different similes that together describe some kind of complicated emotion or a complicated idea or feeling. Just in case for a little review, or if you've never heard of it before, a simile is a kind of, we say, figurative language, figurative expression. It compares something abstract like love. Love is an abstraction. War is an abstraction. Peace is an abstraction. Those are abstract ideas or emotions. Uh, we compare them to something we can touch, taste, or smell, like a rose, a flower. You can pick it up, you can touch the petals, you can smell it, you can feel how cool it is and maybe a little wet. So we say, love is like a rose. Maybe you want to say that to somebody that you're fond of, that you would like to be a boyfriend or girlfriend of yours. You can say, you feel like a rose to me. My feelings about you are like a rose. Like I feel this strong sense of beauty and tenderness. Love is like a red rose. That's a very famous and familiar simile, very common. Seems pretty easy. But what I want to ask you about today is what if there's an emotion or an idea, an abstraction that is complicated, very complicated? We can't say something simple like, oh, my feeling is like a red rose. It's more complicated like that. For example, here's a kind of a simple, uncomplicated emotion, fear, certain kinds of fear, when you are just afraid you are going to get hit or bitten or damaged. You can say, fear is like an angry bear chasing me or chasing you. Fear is like an angry bear. That's pretty easy, pretty understandable. There's not a lot of complicated ideas with it. But, and this is what we want to talk about today, what about abstractions and emotions that are complicated? And what do I mean by complicated? Emotions that are not just one thing. Like if we say fear is like an angry bear chasing me, it's just one thing. I want to get away. I'm afraid. I want to escape. I want to run. But there are some kinds of fear or love or happiness or sadness that aren't just one thing. They're many things. Emotions that include changes. They change each time you think about it or experience it. Or an emotion that includes a conflict. Well, something I kind of fear, but also I kind of love at the same time. That's a conflict. Or even we could call it a contradiction. Some kinds of emotions, some kinds of ideas and abstractions even have contradictions. A contradiction is a really interesting word. Contradiction means a combination of ideas or features that are opposed to one another. Two things that are completely opposite, but both are true. That can be a situation with a complicated emotion. Something that I'm afraid of, but at the same time, I love it. It's a contradiction. Those are opposite, fear and love. But that's true too. You can maybe think of some things, some situations, some emotions that have the opposite at different times or even at the same time. For example, here's one I thought of. Think about something from your childhood that you were maybe afraid of, but you were also attracted to. I think of a forest, a dark forest. Maybe it's nearby the house where I grew up when I was a child. And I think about that from long, long time ago. And I think about that forest. And it's not just that I was afraid of it when I was walking home at night, but I was also attracted to it. Sometimes I wanted to walk out into the forest. Other times I wanted to run as fast as I could to get away from that forest. And sometimes I just wanted to stop and listen to the forest and see and try to wait to see what would happen. It's got very many complicated things. Sometimes I would think that forest is beautiful. Sometimes I would think it's terrible. So there's not just one idea about it. We can use similes to kind of create that complicated idea where it's not just one feeling but many. Here's a little poem I tried to write. What happened to the dark forest near my childhood home when I walked home late in the evening? And here's the poem. Did it chase me like a hungry bear leaping out to rip my body? Or did it sing to me like a lovely girl who died long ago in the rain? Or did it touch the back of my neck like the ghosts of my ancestors with their cold fingers? I don't know. I kind of like it. I just made it up trying to think of some different similes that would be not the same idea, but something different. Like the first one, I was just thinking fear, run away. The second one, I was thinking beauty, a beautiful song, but also a mysterious song because it's from a girl who died long ago. Mystery and beauty. And for the last one, I was also thinking about mystery and just maybe a feeling of being connected to my grandfathers and my grandmothers and their grandmothers and grandfathers and all these people who are in my past that I don't even know and think about they might be in that forest. And it's kind of scary too if they actually touch you with their cold fingers. Maybe I would change that from cold fingers to something like um, loving fingers. They're ghosts, but they're wanting to touch me. So maybe cold is too scary. I would like you to take a few minutes, pause this video, and try to think of your own ideas for some complicated emotions or feelings. I can try a few more here. Um, the feeling on a Sunday afternoon, very quiet, but also a little nervous because Monday will come soon. What is the feeling? The feeling on Saturday morning when I don't have to go to work and I know I have the whole day free, but I don't know what to do. I don't know if those things make any sense to you. What would be some other one? The feeling of thinking about a friend from long ago whom I haven't seen and don't know much about anymore. And maybe when I saw that friend, we didn't have a long goodbye, and I don't know how our feelings are anymore. Can you stop this video right now and give yourself a few minutes to take out a piece of paper or type on your screen some ideas, two or three ideas about what are some complicated emotions, complicated feelings that aren't just one thing, but are many different things. Go ahead, I'm going to pause. Okay, well, I hope you paused. Because if you didn't pause the video, you have to pause the video and stop listening to me and start writing. I'm going to give you another chance to do that if you didn't. Pause the video now. Pause. Okay, let's get started again. I want to show you a really famous poem that really talks about some complicated emotions. This is by a poet named Langston Hughes. He is one of the most famous African American poets from America. He wrote this poem in 1951, and he was famous for what was called the Harlem Renaissance. Harlem Renaissance, which was a time in American history uh, before World War II in New York City when there were so many African American writers and artists, sculptors who gathered together. They were philosophers, thinkers, so many books being written. And it just made African American culture in America grow and flourish like a flower. And they they were reflecting on their lives as African Americans, their history in America, which included slavery and very awful and violent oppression and discrimination. And so Langston Hughes wrote this poem called Harlem. What happens to a dream deferred? To defer something means to stop it, to put it on hold, to say, no, not yet, not yet. We can't give you your dream yet. And he was thinking about individual African Americans who could not get jobs, could not buy houses, could not go to certain places, who did not have equal rights. He was also thinking about all African Americans whose dreams had simply been stopped in America and said, no, not yet, maybe someday, but not now. A dream deferred. What happens to that dream inside of people? So it's a complicated emotion, a complicated feeling. Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? Or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat? Or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load. Or does it explode? So I want to kind of explain a little bit about these similes. Each one of these similes is an image. It is a sight, sound, touch, taste, or smell. And the interesting thing to notice is they aren't all the same. They seem to be talking about different things, but it's all one thing. It's what is this dream when you can't have it? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? So a raisin is a piece of fruit that is dried and shriveled. Maybe this makes you think about some really sweet thing that is now shriveled up. Although it might be nice, a raisin could be a good thing. It's a piece of food that we like to eat, and it's sweet, but it is dried up. We look at it and we think about what a dream might be that is never realized, that is never acted on. Or does it fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat? Now, that one is a sore on somebody's body. For a sore to fester means that it is not healing, it is infected. It is not, you have to go to the doctor, and it could be very, very bad for you. And it's got liquid coming out of it. That's an image that is not very nice. So he changes it from this dream deferred could be like a raisin, which is not bad, or it could be really painful, like a sore that is not healing. He includes stink like rotten meat. We know what that smells like. You want to throw it away. Or does this dream deferred crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? That sounds pretty nice. It does, I think it kind of talks about how the dream that we have could be something that we really, really long for and we want. We do want it. But when you put this simile right after stinking like rotten meat, it makes you think of some kind of sweet thing that you don't want to eat that has gotten very, very bad because it's not been kept fresh. Maybe it sags like a heavy load. And this one makes me think of a work animal, like a donkey, a horse that has to carry a load every day so that its back bends down like a U shape. And then the last one, or does a dream deferred explode? And that one is clearly violent. Like, can people really hold a dream inside of themselves forever and ever and just keep waiting? Or eventually, is that dream going to turn into violence, anger, destruction for the world around them? And that's that picture that I found. I want you to notice that this poem, these similes, are made up of sights. And I think a raisin in the sun could be a sight, something you see. It could also be a taste, but I couldn't make it two colors at once. But it's both a taste and a sight. I put dry up was a touch. When something is dried and shriveled up, it's a touch. Or is it does it fester like a sore and then run? I mark that as being a touch, something you can feel that hurts. But you can also see it too, and maybe more than that. This one, stink like rotten meat, is clearly a smell. Crust and sugar over. I wasn't sure. You could touch that if you picked up candy and it had sugar on it. You could feel that in your fingers, but I thought you could also see it, so I chose sight. And then syrupy sweet, I thought was a taste. Maybe it just sags like a heavy load. That one, I could feel it in my body, with a heavy load on my body, and I could feel it sagging and hurting. Or does it explode? And I chose sound for this one because I realized there aren't really any other sounds. I don't think you can hear any of these others. But when we get to the end, the explosion, I think the most powerful part of it is the boom that we can hear. What what do you think are the qualities or aspects or emotions of all these different similes? There's one, two, three, four, five, six different similes. Do you think that this dream deferred, does it show six different qualities or aspects? Does it show any contradictions? Now, if we were in a class right now, I would have you talk about that with a partner or a small group. So I want you to pause the video a second time right now. You have to hit pause, and I'd like you to write down some of your ideas. Write them down on a piece of paper or type them. What do you think are the different kinds of emotions or qualities that these show? Does it show anger somewhere? Does it show happiness, sadness? Does it show pain? Does it show pleasure? What are the different things that you can see? I'm going to write them over here next to them. So anyway, you try it. Think about each of the similes, the six different similes, and what do you think each one shows? What quality? So hit pause right now and write those ideas down on a piece of paper. Pause. Okay, I assumed you hit pause and wrote that. Drying up like a raisin in the sun. Um, well, that could be hunger, desire, but also sadness and loss because maybe watching your dream dry up in the sun makes you sad and you feel like you're losing it. I think fester like a sore and then run is clearly painful. That seems painful. Hurt. You feel hurt. I think you feel maybe a little bit of panic. If you have a bad sore and it does not heal, it never heals. I think you would start to become panicked and depressed, having that painful pain on your body the whole time. Stink like rotting meat. I gotta say, that one makes me feel like disgust. Just, it's looks terrible. It's rotting. I mean, it has the word in there, right in there. It's disgust at something rotting. Disgust makes it means is a word like you feel sick. You feel sick about it. Uh, Crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet. This one is the most complicated one to me because I think a syrupy sweet is clearly something we want. We desire it. We want it. Yum, sounds good. Um, a sweet thing that we would like to have like a dessert or a candy. But this candy seems like what should I say? Too old to eat it. Like maybe it's been sitting around for a long time, and I just again feel a sense of loss, a waste, a waste of something very good, a wastefulness. Maybe it sags like a heavy load. It kind of compares people to a work animal, people who have their dreams stopped are like work animals, less than human. This one makes me think about not being treated like a human being, but being treated like an animal where you're not expected to have dreams. You're just expected to pick up a load and carry it somewhere, and that's it. And then the last one, anger, very much anger, violence, um, destroying society. Those around will be hurt by this exclusion, by this dream that's denied. That explosion seems very powerful. So, those are some ideas. Can you imagine this one complicated idea, a dream deferred? Has all these different aspects. Isn't it interesting how you can just take some simple similes, comparisons? It's like this. It's like this. It's also like this. And you can start to build up an idea that's so rich and in depth and has so many parts that you can think about how they're connected, how they're put together. Well, here's another point where you can access this document if you didn't have a chance to do it before. I just wanted to show it to you again so that you don't have to go back to the beginning of the video because we're going to do a little writing to finish up. And you might want to be able to get to this document so that you could copy and paste some of these templates, some of these writing spaces into your own document. So let's try it. I want you to think about what you wrote earlier, that list of complicated emotions. Remember, what did I write? I was up here, I wrote these. I can just go get these and copy them down here. But maybe you want to pause the video right now. Sorry for the scrolling. And think of some more. If you didn't think of some earlier, I want you to pause the video and I want you to write down. Well, maybe just think of one. What is one that you would like to most write about? But if you can't think of just one, maybe write down a couple of different ideas. Complicated emotions, ideas, feelings that are bigger than just one simple feeling, that have many. So pause the video and make sure you have at least one complicated emotion that you would like to write about. So pause now. Okay. Now, the first thing I want to do is free write about it. Free writing is a technique we use often in writing classes. It means to set a clock, set a timer, a stopwatch for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and write as much as you can about a topic. just to get your ideas flowing and writing in English. Um, I think I'll write about Sunday afternoon. That's still a very complicated, interesting feeling to me. So I'm going to write for just 30 seconds or so, just to show you. Ready, go. Okay, well, that was more than 30 seconds. I give you an idea. I was just writing anything I could think of that came to mind about the feeling of Sunday afternoon when I was a young person and what that was like. So I want you to stop the video and I want you to set a stopwatch, a timer for maybe 3 minutes and try to write everything you can think about for one idea, one complicated emotion. So get ready, pause. Okay, unpause. You must have unpaused because I'm talking now. Now, I would like you to just try to write a poem using the same types of sentences, the same questions and similes that Langston Hughes used in his poem. So if you know, this is where it might be good for you to copy this. You could copy this into your own document if you have access to this Google Doc right here, or you could type it on your own device, or you could write it on a piece of paper. The title of the poem is What Happened to? So what happened to that feeling of Sunday afternoons when I was young? But you should write whatever your idea is, whatever you want to write about. Maybe you want to write about a dream deferred. Maybe you yourself have a dream, but everybody keeps saying, no, stop, you can't do that. Or maybe you yourself keep saying, no, I can't do it, stop. That's a dream deferred. Maybe you just want to say, what happened to my dream deferred? And then here, you should make a verb. Did it, what happened to that feeling of Sunday afternoons when I was young? Uh, did it rise up like a cloud in the sky that sailed over the horizon? I'm just making that up right now. I'm just making up a simile for what was that feeling of Sunday afternoons like? That feeling. Did it rise up like a cloud in the sky that sailed over the horizon? Or did it come close to my face like a friend who, I got to change that to who whispered a friendly word? Yeah, I've just thought of that. I don't know what they mean. I'm just doing my best to come up with some images, and I could keep making more of them too. I feel like this one wouldn't be finished yet, but I only gave you two just in case you didn't want to spend too long doing it. And maybe you can find out a lot just by writing two uh, similes. So you have to get rid of what I wrote. here. Well, it's not going to be there because you can't copy it from the video. But you should use this blank template, I call it. That is a fill in the blank. So you can put your own words there. What happened to my dream deferred? Did it hide in the closet like an old broom that needs to be thrown away? So see if you can come up with a couple of similes that show different sides, different qualities, even a contradiction or a conflict between within the idea, within the complicated idea. All right, well, that's my lesson. I would love it if you would share what you wrote with me. If you would use my email address here and send me the poem that you wrote. I would love it. I really would. People do this every year when I do this lesson, and I do reply when I get your email. So I look forward to hearing from you. I'm going to give you one more chance to access this document right here. So if you haven't looked at this document yet, QR code this right here so you can go find this document, and that way you can click on my email address. You can copy these items and spend more time trying it by copying this into your own document and typing in it. You can fill in this blank here. You can even spend time kind of looking at this poem. All right. I want to end by telling you that you, as high school students, can participate in an AIU class this fall. You can. It's called a Big Read class. And professors at AIU are organizing discussion groups with high school students anywhere in Japan who would like to join a Zoom meetings. I think the calendar for the Zoom meetings is here. They will be once a week in November and once in December. And these meetings are going to discuss a book, a very nice book called Tsunami Girl, written by this guy, Julian Sedgwick. This is a young adult novel. It's easy to read in English, and it's a mystery. It's about the tsunami in Japan, in Tohoku, that happened on 3/11. I just got through reading it and talking about it with my students. We love that book. And you would actually be able to meet and talk with this author on Zoom. AIU students will be leading the discussion with you, high school students, so you can meet AIU students next fall in these Zoom sessions, and you can get a real uh, chance to participate in AIU learning and reading and talking and classes if you would like to sign up for this experience. And I'm going to zoom in because I want you to use this QR code to access this class. And hopefully you can do that, and then you can be interested, and we will see you in the fall, okay? Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for participating in this. I do hope I see you guys soon on campus, all right? Bye-bye.